So much has happened in the world of RTS games that I must not waste your time with an intro and just jump right in with this brand new trailer for Timefront. This is exclusive footage you won't see on any other channel, sent to me by these indie developers whose progress I have been following and supporting for several years now. What they are making is a real-time strategy game in a high fantasy setting with innovative gameplay mechanics, like time control and battle royale. Some of this you can see in this trailer, but I hope you will also test it out in December once the playtest of Timefront goes live on Steam. Until then, make sure to wishlist and follow the game there on the store page, where you can find a link to their Discord server, which you can visit for latest dev blogs and updates. Besides multiplayer and a game editor, devs plan to create a cinematic campaign and customization for 5 asymmetrical factions with their special commanders, units and artifacts. If the developers of D.O.R.F drop an update, you know I drop everything to post it in my RTS news. So this time it is no different with this great showcase of different infantry units that you will get to play with in this amazing upcoming indie gem. As you learned from my interview with the developers, which I will link up here and in the description for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, they still have a long road ahead of them. But they also created such a system where it is easy for them to add more units such as these. Not only do infantry units in D.O.R.F have specific uses and can be used as counters to enemy infantry or vehicles, but some even have special abilities, like how the Grenadier can place landmines, while the Mounted Recon detects stealthed units and provides extended vision range. With flame units, you will be able to force enemy garrisons out of buildings, while the Wreck Chuckers will throw small mutant creatures they carry on their shoulders to run and blow up enemies as they self-destruct. If anyone had any doubts, these developers know how to lean on the wacky humor of games they're inspired by. I think this unit alone puts those fears to rest. There are more such units, and I hope to showcase all of these and the new naval units in my next interview with the developers of D.O.R.F. Please stay tuned in and subscribe so you don't miss it.
Search and destroy.
Considering D.O.R.F is inspired by the Command & Conquer franchise, and we just marked the 30th anniversary since Command & Conquer was released on the 26th of September 1995, I think it is only fitting I mention that the General's Evolution, the total conversion mod for Red Alert 3, which turns it into CNC General 0 Hour, has been updated to the 0.33 beta version. The link to its download page at the ModDB is in the description below, and you should know this is much more than just a conversion, as these modders have done their best to upgrade almost everything. The gameplay was reworked, particularly the supply truck resource collection, and a new balance of factions and units achieved, and entire new units designed and added to all the factions, along with new maps to play on. If you have never tested this mod before, I hope you do now, and feel free to share in the comments which are your favorite CNC mods to play. I have to mention that the look and feel of this mod and its highly saturated color palette is what always made it more prominent for me, because as much as I liked the original game, the colors and effects always felt washed out. As this time around I don't have sale recommendations for you, I will recommend some other CNC mods to you in line with the mentioned anniversary. This is a total conversion mod for 0 Hour turning the game into CNC Red Alert, and it's called CNC Red Alert Redux. You can now get it working even by using the Gen Launcher mod software. There are a number of individual elements to this one that you can turn on or off as you like and configure your experience the way you like it. Not only are there over 60 maps to play on, but these include about 20 naval maps from Generals, with an option to configure the skirmish AI bots specifically for individual maps. Units have been made faster, a new shader technology implemented to improve graphics, ore fields will last longer, and there is no limit to the number of ore trucks you can recruit. There are plenty more visuals and effects which have been reworked, as well as construction yard systems and super weapons. These modders even fixed a lot of the exploits, so you best bring your A game against the bots. If you have other similar mods you would like me to take a look at and showcase in these videos, please feel free to recommend these to me in the comments. I have more news on CNC-like games, but let's now talk about the latest improvements the solo dev of Dust's Fleet has made to his space RTS, which might not have base building elements, but it does have empire building elements. He has fixed issues and improved performance after many players started amassing huge battle fleets and sending them into ever larger space battles. Equally, the turn-based management part of the game needed a boost in processing to shorten turn times and also speed up save and loading times. There are other, both small and big changes to the gameplay as well as ship cost balancing. What rubs me the wrong way is seeing so much effort amount to so few reviews, so this is my modest contribution to this game's online presence and I hope more of you try it out. The next indie project I want to show you is titled America Against Ants, and the game truly does deliver on that title. It is set in the 60s as the atom bombs are being tested in the USA, leading to mutant ants coming out of the depths to overwhelm human soldiers. The story-driven campaign takes you from Area 51 all the way to Las Vegas across 30 varied missions. The gameplay is a mix of tower defense and real-time tactics, with units of several types, all of which have abilities and skills. You can even call in artillery barrages, airstrikes and a nuclear strike against the ants, combined with some new pheromone-based tech. Ants also come in various sizes and some even have wings. It's absolutely outrageous, so I just had to show it off to you. Another game I have never shown you before is titled Byte War. It is a small indie project I only found recently, and what made it interesting enough for me to showcase is in part blocks, which make up everything and give the game its unique look, and part its unique base building system, because your buildings only get their function after specific blocks are set up in a specific shape, so it is almost like a small puzzle game inside an RTS game. As for combat, you have your own block-based machines, which fight against a machine threat from another dimension. In this game, you take the map over by expanding your influence over it, which starts with your HQ building and is extended with influence spreaders found on the map itself. Indie dev of a Byte War has created several mission types to challenge his players, and these can branch into subsequent missions, meaning each new playthrough can be finished differently.
Macedonians! Have you ever seen so grand an army?
If you are a fan of narrative-driven campaigns, you can look forward to a lovingly crafted story experience and conquering the old world with Alexander the Great in the new Chronicles DLC for Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, which will be released on October 14th. This is made by a passionate group of developers who started out as fans and community creators, but now work directly for Microsoft. The Chronicles type of content is focused on cinematic presentation and modern level design, but also uses the expertise of an ancient historian to create a very historically accurate experience. It brings 18 scenarios, 3 civilizations, original soundtracks, a customizable campaign army, and revamped siege weapon models. Another brand new RTS game you can start playing soon is Dying Breed, as it comes out on Steam on the 7th of October with a post-apocalyptic world, FMV live-action sequences, retro-futuristic technologies, zombies, several factions, lots of units in base building, a metal soundtrack straight out of the 90s, and more nostalgia than you will know what to do with. This is as close to a love letter to the origins of the genre and CNC games in particular that you can get outside of remasters. Dying Breed features not one, but 2 single-player campaigns filled with a cast of memorable characters, allowing you to explore its vast world and battle against enemies above ground, underground, and at sea. It does feature super weapons as well, from the regular nuclear strikes and orbital cannons to the more unique weather storms.
Battle command uplink initializing. Stand by.
Major General, congratulations.
The other already playable love letter to the genre, titled Tempest Rising, has recently received a substantial content update. But no, it is not the third playable faction yet. Now you can play 3v3 multiplayer or skirmish matches on a number of new and upgraded maps, but also by yourself with no bots, or spectate other players' matches now with stats, in-game chat, a fog of war toggle, and an option to follow a selected player's camera. The single player aspect has been upgraded with an active pause and game speed controls, and several missions were rebalanced. The multiplayer received a unit and balancing update across the board, so I hope more players return and try it out again. If it has been a while since you played a game similar to There Are Billions or got tired of Diplomacy is Not an Option, I want to let you know you can try the demo of Here Comes the Swarm, where you can face massive waves of enemies and break them up at your gates and walls with the help of boons granted by your chosen divine deity. I mentioned this game once before, so I hope many of you will still be interested to try its demo, now available on Steam, because it has that same type of base building and unit combat with wave survival gameplay you're used to from similar games, but with its own special twists. For example, it has arcane essences you can find on each map, and once you collect them, you get to unlock more ways to boost and customize your playthrough. There is an active pause, so you can still play and plan while being safe from attacks and combat. Settlement building and population happiness are parts of gameplay that you will need to take care of to be able to train your units and build walls. Now, in my favorite way of putting two useful things together, here is an upcoming indie RTS coming out on the 11th of November. I have never shown you before, and its dev is sponsoring this video. DSS2 War Industry utilizes multiple CPU cores to let you have up to 2 million units. The solo indie dev already made a demo available on Steam, so you can try out its gameplay of commanding huge armies, building cities, researching tech, and managing the economy, which includes automated supply routes in a low fantasy medieval setting. There is even a god mode in which you can spawn whatever you want, and a spectator mode, as well as other gameplay elements I will show you in a future video, but until then, make sure to wishlist the game, follow it on Steam, and check out its demo there. Another freshly released RTS game on Steam, which channels the look and feel of Command & Conquer, is Red Chaos: The Strict Order. It has both skirmish and multiplayer for you to enjoy, while waiting for the full release, which will bring the single player campaign in a year or two. This game has a high skill ceiling due to compact maps filled with resource depots, fast unit combat with active abilities, as well as several support powers and super weapons. What it also has are many ease of access and quality of life features, making the learning process much easier, besides the 12 mission long tutorial section and menus which contain a lot of info about the game and its mechanics. I have shown a lot of its content in my previous video, linked up here and down in the description. One aspect which the developers have been improving incrementally over the years that I have been playtesting and reporting on this game is its look and feel, which is now at a level where it looks both very decent for a 2025 release and at the same time gives excellent visibility, which is of major importance for an RTS game. A game you won't find on Steam, but which has grown a huge audience over the years and is free, by the way, is Beyond All Reason, and I have made several guides to help new players get into it. A few days ago, its developers celebrated having 60,000 Discord members, with a massive stream and matches which had upwards of 180 players. To me, this game and its insane match sizes, which are currently only set up for events like this, while regular gameplay is 8v8, seems like the future of the genre. The other reason why I think so are the controls and commands, which give you hundreds of ways of controlling not just units, but also buildings and production. No other game in existence gives players this level of control, and Beyond All Reason is not even finished. If you want to see more of it, make sure to jump on the streams and videos of its 5v5 Omega Series tournament. The link to its official page is in the description below, and you have no reason not to go there and download it. The next mod I want to show you is for a game which inspired the developers of Beyond All Reason, which is Total Annihilation. This mod is called TA0, and it is an overhaul mod, as people still play this granddad of RTS games, even with Beyond All Reason or Supreme Commander being much newer alternatives. So what is interesting about this TA0 mod? Well, it's extra content, many improvements, and the addition of modern features. First of all, the graphics are improved, including textures and explosions, along with a redesign of all maps to make the whole game more acceptable to a new generation of RTS gamers. In addition to such surface shines and enhanced sounds, a lot of effort was spent to improve pathfinding of units and tripling the unit cap to allow for massive battles. You should be aware that some parts of the economy have been made more consistent, and you can practice against a better AI opponent. Once you feel confident in your skill, you can even test it against other players in multiplayer, as this mod uses the Total Annihilation Forever client to make installation much simpler and allow for using a replay system. Another game which spawned insane mods and total conversions is Sins of a Solar Empire, and its sequel has now received a new DLC titled Reinforcements, which tells you immediately what you can find as its content, along which the devs made a free update to the base game. First new addition is the command ship class, with each faction getting one such massive and powerful ship, which is only one class below a Titan. In addition to these amazing ships and their special capabilities, all factions can now win the game by completing their specific victory conditions, which are derived from their lore. As for the command ships, the Tech Enclave received a command fortress, which is a massive mobile shipyard capable of producing cruisers and supporting your armada. The Tech Primacy got another high-speed battleship whose ornaments can be customized with railguns, missiles, or hangar bays. As for the Advent, the Wrath faction now has a Dreadnought, which is heavily armored and armed with a devastating super heavy Psy-kinetic lance. The Reborn faction of Advent got a Dreadnought of their own, and it gets stronger the more allies are destroyed around it and is able to blow up everything around it if it is destroyed. Lastly, the Vasari Alliance can now lock down entire sectors with a Tyrant city ship fortress which has an integrated phase gate, while the Vasari Exodus got an aptly named Wanderer, which used to be a refugee carrier but is now a warship armed for battle and able to send out many strikecraft. Feel free to let me know in the comments which is your favorite faction and which of these ships are you most excited for. Ablight is an upcoming RTS game by a great indie team, which I have shown you several times already, but because its previous versions reminded you of StarCraft, I am happy to be able to show you newest footage provided by its devs, which will show you why that is no longer the case, and the game is now one step closer to what they always envisioned it to be. Farms have been implemented and resource collection is generally transitioning into something more similar to the system in Age of Empires. This future indie gem will offer 3 playable factions: Guardians, Plagued, and the Inquisition. The base building aspect is another part of the game that is very much in the ongoing phase, as is the introduction of air units, but you can already see infantry, mechs, and beast units. Ablight's developers know the RTS genre by heart and want to not just make a technically sound game, which means appealing graphics and proper unit control with all the other elements that entails, but also lots and lots of quality of life features and keyboard shortcuts. So make sure to wishlist it and show them your appreciation for their efforts. A new game that is similarly worthy of you wishlisting it, and especially if you enjoy Total War-like battles, is Strategos, and its devs recently sent me newest gameplay footage while they have been working on many gameplay aspects like units and their formation movements. They also completed more reenactment battles, made more maps and extended their campaigns, like early Rome or Hannibal's conquests. To give you as their future players a good opponent, they are making the AI smarter and better at flanking and using bow cavalry. And mentioning Hannibal, the game obviously has combat elephants, but also 2-horse, 2-man chariots. If you don't know, there are going to be a lot of factions to play with, as well as hundreds of units, and the devs would like to finish the game by the end of 2025. But more realistically, they will do so in 2026. Considering how few dev teams even attempt to challenge Total War supremacy in this kind of gameplay, I wish them much luck with that. There is another game based on the Spring engine, much like Beyond All Reason, and that one is titled 0K. Its devs also always work on new improvements and additions, and I can show you some of that in this footage sent to me by them. This massive unit called the Detriment has been changed to be able to store 3 jump charges and was made cheaper to produce at the cost of health and jump range. Additionally, both you and enemy players can see these charges visually as canisters on its back. Besides a higher incentive to capture metal extractors in team games, UI changes to morphing and burst damage, as well as a bunch of balancing changes, this update changed the maximum stun time on units, almost doubling it. If you never played 0K before, you should know it is free and downloadable on Steam. As for more fresh small indie games, I want to tell you about Cubic Annihilation, another new and upcoming RTS in which you can customize your loadout before each match, allowing you to pick specific units, buildings, upgrades, abilities and commanders to bring into battle. Its demo will be live during the Steam Next Fest in October, so we will all get a chance to try it out. Its name already tells you where the dev got his inspiration, but he also took some from CNC and StarCraft. What is great is that you will be able to fight on land, sea and in the air with your team or in 1v1 multiplayer battles and climb the global ladder in the ranked mode. Wishlist it for now and try the demo on the 14th of October. A game and multiplayer you might want to come back to after the recent update is Broken Arrow. I myself have played a lot of its 5v5 battles and can now enjoy them much more, as leaving mid-battle is finally punished by ever-increasing time penalties. On top of that, players can now finally leave a match early in an organized fashion, as they can all vote to surrender and give their opponents the deserved proper win. This update also came in with a bunch of balancing changes and even units trading places from one specialized deck to another. If you need any gameplay tips, I have a video linked up here and in the description. I am now happy to tell you that the demo of Dynasty Protocol is available to download on Steam, and you can finally try out the space sci-fi RTS, which has fleet warfare, colony conquest, ship customization, modular space stations, lots of logistics to consider and tech to research. I have told you about it before, but now you can try it out and tell me what you think about it. For this demo, devs made improvements to strategic management, limiting hangar capacity of cargo ships to make logistics matter more, but also enhanced resource collection efficiency with new upgrades. Your main station will now act as the Advanced Fleet Command Center, offering comprehensive fleet control, including recall all ships commands and emergency protocols. Devs have introduced realistic FTL mechanics, meaning space jumps are no longer instant and travel time now depends on planetary distance. Combat ships will now behave according to their class during combat, and you will be able to select specialized AI assistants to provide you with empire-wide strategic bonuses.
Our universe is held together by magic.
Last but not least for this video is the new DLC for Age of Mythology Retold titled Heavenly Spear, which is out in just a few days. I do have another 24 new RTS games and updates to showcase to you, but as it is my birthday today after all, I don't want to spend it in editing, so I will make another such video filled with RTS news for the next weekend. As for this new content, Heavenly Spear brings the might and myth of ancient Japan to Age of Mythology Retold with gods, heroes and yokai. There is a full storytelling campaign which spans 12 handcrafted missions, as well as 12 new gods and 6 new multiplayer and skirmish maps to play on. My own son is going to be so excited as this is his favorite RTS game right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching and I wish you all happy gaming.